All right, next on the agenda, do we have anybody here from Pine Brook? Are they out there yet?
They're probably just out there. Yeah.
They're all
All set?
What the hell?
How many flyers
No. It sounds like it is.
You sure? I have additional seats. We can pack some more in. Yeah, if you could maybe set up over there.
All right, so, oops. Yeah, that's the thing. That was the reason for the, that's why it was the pressure to get this done. Okay, Bob, we've given this believe it or not, we've given this an hour. So when we wind it up in 20 minutes, we can all, just relax and socialize.
Some of the tough ones we get like 15 minutes.
That's right.
And this one an hour.
I had the same question.
No justice.
I think we can finish it in less than an hour. So we're ready to begin the public hearing for site plan review for 42 Newton Street, Pine Brook Country Club, a house and a snack facility. Who's doing the presentation?
Well, I will start, and then I'll probably have Eric give a couple of comments. I'm usually pretty brief, and I think I'll be probably extra brief tonight. This is fairly straightforward. This is Newton Street as you come by Pine Brook Country Club, heading to the northwest. And there's about 91 acres of golf course on the southwest side of the property. There's an existing snack shack right here, which is about, I think, 1,000 square feet in area. And there's a little pump station down here that's about 200 square feet in area. And this whole project is basically a replacement and a renovation of existing infrastructure, improvements to bring it in line with both today's demands for the membership and also the requirements to maintain the golf course. So the pump station is a component of an irrigation system that's going to be replaced on the entire golf course. The snack shack is obviously to provide better service to the membership and the course. This building, the snack shack, just to give you some of the numbers, has an average grade plane around 167, and the existing ridge height is 179, so it's about a 12-foot high existing building right here. Coming down the slope to the pump station, and there's a pond right here that it draws water from. That existing pump station, again, it's 200 square feet. The grade around it is about 122, and the ridge height is about 135. This also has a roof height that's about 12.5 feet above existing grade. And these are the two areas that we'll be working in. Call it board, John?
There wasn't three there?
Only one.
There's two on the other side.
Right over there.
blending this the same way again. Newton Street is here. This little dab of purple here, just to orientate you, is the existing snack shack, and this purple square here is the existing pump house. And so what's going on is there'll be a new pump station constructed here. It is quite a bit larger than the old pump station, just based on pure equipment requirements and the size of the sump that's required and that sort of thing. And then the snack shack is larger just to accommodate, again, the needs of the membership. There'll be seating inside and seating on the outside patio. I think it accommodates a total of 42 patrons at a maximum capacity. So the pump station's being pulled back from the pond. This would be, actually, this line right here would be the Weston floodplain and protection district lines of the existing pump stations actually inside the flood overlay district. The new pump station will be outside the flood overlay district. The snack shack will have stormwater infiltration system and a new septic system. Right now, the snack shack is on a cesspool. There'll be some parking associated with golf cart parking to pull off the path so that people can go in and get their burgers and sandwiches and things and then come back out again. This is a utility corridor that's running down to the pump station, and there's both potable water, irrigation water, there's gas, electric, communication cables. This whole thing is a computerized system. It's a pretty sophisticated system in that the whole golf course has sensors that determine moisture levels so that the irrigation is tuned to where it needs to be, as opposed to the present system which just throws water everywhere. So it's a much more efficient irrigation system in terms of water consumption. And in terms of neighborhood impacts, I'll just throw this board up briefly. Something we tend to show a bit more on a residential project, but that's the pump station. This is the snack shack. Our nearest residence is over 400 feet away from either structure. So, and as the folks who were on the sidewalk could see today, you really can't see a residential home from either of these structures. And I don't think you'll see it when the project's done. So in terms of stormwater management, we have about a 3,500 square foot increase in impervious surfaces based on the increase in patio area, the larger snack shack, larger pump station, and some of the additional paving that's required for the golf carts. But we are collecting all of this stormwater and recharging the 210 and 100-year storm in the infiltration system. So we'll have a net decrease in surface runoff, even though in this type of project we're talking about 3,000 square feet on 92 acres on this side of the golf course. So as an impact, it's essentially de minimis. But just in keeping with current practice, we are infiltrating groundwater. Septic system will be designed for a maximum capacity of 42 people. And that's really it. I mean, there is grading that we talked about that's associated with the slope. Part of the reason that the grading is going on is that the snack shack, the decision was to keep it up so that we don't have to do a lot of blasting or removal of ledge in this area, which kept it up a little bit higher, kept that patio a little bit higher. And we could have probably constructed a retaining wall that would have been closer to 6 to 8 feet high if we tried to retain the slope completely. But currently, we are dredging the ponds as well, so we're pulling out about 8,000 cubic yards of soil when those ponds are dredged. And this was a good place to lose some of that soil on the golf course. And it'll also make just from the golf course aesthetics point of view, it's going to make a more uniform slope transition along this fairway on the 10th hole. I think that's about as complicated as I can probably make it from the site engineering. I'm glad to answer questions. I can let Eric.
Before you go ahead,
Yep.
Rob, if it's 8,000 cubic yards, we're gonna need to issue a special permit.
I think so. I mean, that's,
Yeah, the 8,000 is actually coming out of the ponds.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
The net earthwork on this, well, I think we may still need it. I think the 8,000 out of the yard, out of the ponds would actually be incidental to the golf course because those are irrigation ponds and they're basically restoring them to the condition they were when they constructed them. Those were dredged ponds originally, and the material they're moving, they dredged them 20 years ago, and they're bringing them back down to the elevations that they were 20 years ago. This work in here, it's a net of 2,800 yards of fill, which I realize is over 1,000 cubic yards. So it's obviously your decision as to whether that special permit is necessary for that.
I think we're going to need to issue it. It's a big deal.
No, I mean,
it doesn't impact anything.
Yeah.
It's just that we need to. And the question is, we need to then advertise the hearing. don't we?
right. So, and that's, I was actually just sort of lining things up in my mind, and on the if we're basically doing a lot of our lifting right now, reviewing this, and that it ends up really being a less of a technical issue to review, then one of the things we could do is just advertise it for the 22nd when we're dealing with Meadowbrook, 253 Meadowbrook.
Why don't we do it in connection with the other Pine Brook?
October 16th.
Yeah,
Oh, but we don't have time to advertise it.
That's the issue.
That's the problem.
And special, unlike site plan, we have the ability with site plan to waive the hearing requirement. With special permit, we don't.
Yeah.
So that's the main
Yeah.
issue.
So this is
the week after.
It's scope creep on the meeting.
Yeah.
So we're going to have one meeting with
seeing
only
it right
one
now,
thing.
right, but now it's
And
two.
now it's two things.
Two of them.
But it'll be a short meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll be
Only
even
3
briefer
hours.
on that night.
So at least
You'll be
then,
done for 2
know,
hours.
we can also at least have a framework of a decision in place as well, because I'd be putting together one for the site plan, and at least even that night, the board could be possibly just looking at a draft and then just having like the discussion summary reviewed by 1 or 2 members.
Right.
With the board authorizing that.
Okay.
Okay. As we mentioned on the sidewalk today, there's no lighting associated with either building.
You don't need
Well, I think
lights in the
we're
man
gonna
doors?
check
Yeah,
on.
we did check, that was correct.
Okay.
Man doors are egress doors, so even though it's not occupied at night, the state building code doesn't differentiate between day and night use, so a egress light is required.
Okay, so we'll have to give you a cut sheet on the lights, but they'll be
Yeah.
minimal.
If dark sky.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll use the same ones that we have on car park lead on Eden's building. But they're dark skies.
Actually, I'd probably let Eric talk about the architecture on this. There's no overhangs on the pump station, but there's only one pump door going
No, there are overhangs on the pump station.
there. Are they?
Yeah.
All right, so then we can have them underneath the overhangs.
Yeah.
They're in the soffit light.
You put a can in the soffit then?
Put a can in the soffit. That'd be the easiest way around.
Okay.
All right. So architecture,
Let Eric
or
talk
there was
about
landscape next.
Let Eric talk about the landscape.
I'll try and be brief with Robert. So as Robert mentioned, that the existing snack shack's over here. We actually signed that the new snack shack further away from Newton Street, actually off the cart path. And what that allows us to do is actually gain some ample opportunity to put some plantings in here and screen it from this way as well as from here. And we're looking at, around the perimeter, adding about another 30 some odd trees, both red maple, English oaks, and some clumps here. And then allowing this area here to actually be primarily ornamental grasses. Leaving this actually ledge, we're going to try and leave this ledge exposed, actually clean it up a little bit, let it blend into the landscape. And then around here, we just have some flowering trees, some Cornus Cusa, rhododendrons, and some azaleas. And I actually have some, essentially this is what we're looking at here, the car path. There's flowering trees. You can see we've got some tall trees around there.
That's basically the view from Newton Street, right?
Actually, view from Newton Street would be this direction over here. So Actually, you have the gate over here, so you have a slight view here and then a slight view this way. So this is one of the slight views that you get from Newton Street. Yeah, here's the ornamental grasses. This is the look we're trying to do. We actually just had it nestled within the golf course area there. You can see we have plenty of much tree goes around there.
This is facing away from Newton Street,
That's correct.
toward the ponds.
Actually,
No,
this is
this is facing Newton Street.
You're looking,
You're
you're almost talking
It's
about the
facing
slope.
right.
I'm 20 feet up on the
Correct.
10th fairway, looking this way.
Correct.
Patio.
There's a patio area over here. And again, this is another one looking towards Newton Street in the background. And then we have this area here with car parking.
It's a very different look to have the rough grasses there on a golf course.
Over this area here.
Yeah.
What's a
Very
naturalized
edgy.
look?
That's where the rock was, Susan.
You're going to cover it. Was? What? I don't want to hear the was thing.
So I think
Hopefully
that's
it's
about as
not
complicated as
white.
I can make it. We have Bill here to talk about the architecture.
Okay.
So architecturally speaking, both buildings are similar New England style to what's been done in the maintenance building across the street. Gray Cape Cod style cedar shingles, white PVC trim throughout, 2/3 door panels with glass, lights, columns. This is the 10th hole snack shack, which has a little bit more detail into it. Large expanses of glass to take the views of the ponds, so the members can enjoy the views while they sit and eat. As mentioned previously, the seats for 16 inside, a kitchen serving area, and bathroom for rest stops. The pump house, although utility building, similar in styling. They've got gray shingles, architectural fiberglass shingle roof, white trim, basic overhangs, and just to blend in with the course overall.
Why is it a PVC trim?
For longevity, PVC won't rot, or it acts similar to wood when it expands and contracts, and will be painted out, but the PVC wood's maintenance for above in the long term.
It's ASAP,
Bad for
right?
the environment.
I don't have particulars on that, so I can't speak to the manufacturing process. But it's a widely used product around the building industry. It's pretty much replacing wood throughout.
Okay. So, any comments from our consultants at all? Seems like a slam dunk. Board members,
I have
comments?
a question. Was he going to serve liquor in the snack shack? Is that, I mean, does your liquor license extend to the
Our
main?
liquor license does. We do not presently serve liquor, but there has been discussion of their serving liquor.
Such a lovely.
If you would like to come by for a drink.
You can bring your own, right?
No, not a lot of them.
I had a question about the sound impact. Is there any issue with the pumping station? And obviously, it's a long distance between neighbors and so forth, but I'm wondering if there's any difference in the sound between the old one.
No, none whatsoever. The pumps are roughly 18 to 20 feet deep in that wetlands. This particular building will be fully insulated, whereas the existing building is exposed to by 4 rafters with no insulation.
If you're standing right next to it, you just will hear a very low hum.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments about what they're proposing to do at Plant Brook Country Club? No?
Al, there's one thing
Yep.
that just popped up when Joe put it in his screen. There's a generator
Yes.
that is part of this. Do you want to show
Yeah.
Rob where that is? Or Erica, somebody's printing.
On the rear of the pump house
Yeah, I think that's the trigger.
is the pad location for the future generator.
For a future generator. Okay, so it's gonna broadcast the sound right into the side of the hill.
Yeah, going up that hill.
Obviously used only in an emergency situation.
Yeah. Is it gas fired?
Yes, natural gas, and it does test obviously once a week for roughly 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, do you know what the DBA rating is on it?
I do not.
The specs call for 70, and actually I'm just plugging it into my spreadsheet. Can you scale off the distance to Newton?
Nearest house is 405 feet away, Joe.
So you might get
38.9 decibels.
Okay. So that's,
And Newton Street, I think, was 600 feet.
right.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a threshold of 40. So you're under.
To Newton Street, it drops it down to 34.6, so you're not going to be able to hear anything.
Okay, that's good.
Robert, those T-boxes for the tent that you shoot down, it's crazy. Speaking for bad golfers, are you, the generator gonna get dinged?
I hope not.
Like,
Oh, there's an enclosure of sound.
like a fence around it or something?
Yes.
I mean, the existing pump station gets hit every once in a while.
That's in the present, that's a bunkhouse, I mean, who cares? Back in-
No, but I mean, if a ball can hit the existing pump house, he can hit that.
Yeah, the only thing of value is the generator, you just wanna be banging that too much.
10 volt pump house.
So that 39 decibels is with
So
the
you can
baffle
slice it.
place?
That's-
In with the
yes.
enclosure?
Yeah.
Okay. Which you hope is going to protect against high-speed golf balls.
Might be worth it to put a fence around it. Okay. In that case, we need to get the lighting fixture submittal before we make the decision.
Right.
So we're going to schedule the, well, first of all, motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
When do we schedule review of the draft COA?
It can either be on the 16th, which is when we'd be having them back in front of us, because then, at least then, we'll have the basis for doing the grading for the earth movement.
Okay.
So,
So the 16th, what time?
just say 9:30 end of the meeting.
9:30.
Since we closed the hearing, we can bump it around as we need to.
Okay, so it'll be, we'll look at the COA on the 16th. If you could get the lighting fixture cuts to Joe at like a week ahead of time.
Get it to him tomorrow, no problem.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Well done, thanks.